Hey guys, I've been reviewing the videos from tonight and had a chat with the officers about a few things. There's two things, well, multiple things, but two key things that are going to really help us get a kill on Sunday night because they're going to get us regularly into phase 3. Alright, let's make it three things. First thing, everyone in the raid has one role to do. If one person mucks up their role, it's a wipe. We have 20 people in the raid. 20 people muck up their role once, that's 20 wipes. That's pretty much an entire night done, depending on how late in the fight you decide to make your muck up. So make sure that you're learning from everyone else's mistakes, and that way we can eliminate these. Oh no, I got rooted, which, given how long we've been on this fight for, is completely absurd. Okay, that kind of stuff. So what we need to do with the two following things, and this is not obviously not an attack, this is just the things we need to improve and just pointing them out. But we need group 1 and group 4 to consistently get their runs in quickly and efficiently. And I'm going to hopefully try to clarify how you could maybe do that, just showing you sort of how Zepp and I have been doing it. It's exactly the same as how Birch and I were doing it, and I've done it with a few other people as well. So have a quick look. So let me just point out what I believe is happening. All right, I'm going to use first off, I'm going to use Birch and Dot as an example, and then I'm going to use here again Baby to sort of show what may well be the same point. So please, everyone watch this, because this is important to, it might just add a tiny bit more consistency as to how you do this and reduce the chance that you're going to goof it up, even if this isn't necessarily you exactly that I'm talking about. So they get there in pretty good time. Kez is a bee's dick late, but doesn't end up making a difference because she's got disengaged hacks. They pick their ball up, take the portal. They both just took it right then. So here's Kez and here's Dotlock. We're looking up in the right hand corner here with the mouse. Sully's moved right ahead. He's actually moved, if you look at him here, yeah, there's a pillar about here. There's a pillar about here. He is on the outside of his pillar, so he's standing waiting to catch, and while he's standing waiting to catch, he's clearing ahead. Okay, and he stands dead still now, and where he's standing right now, he can be hitting these ones ahead with flame shocks and whatever things shamans do while Kez is throwing. If you watch, on the other hand, Birch runs ahead to pre-clear to get some dots on some things ahead, and then runs back. Did I say Dirt? Dot or Birch? Birch. Then runs back to catch the ball. Right now, he's not in line of sight of the target he wants to leap to, and he's not in line of sight of anything to pre-dot. So then he comes right back and catches it. You can see, you compare the location on the catch. He then gets around, runs for a couple of seconds, does the leap, and then runs for a couple of seconds, and that's just extra time. This is a 24-second orb run, okay, from pickup to dunk. Now, that's important because if we can knock 4 or 5 seconds off that, what that does is that gives us an extra 4 or 5 seconds late in the fight here, okay, because this debuff is on Birch, Dot, Kez, Sully for 7 seconds while the orb is active. So that's 7 seconds they can't be running when the ball is waiting. And the reason that's important is because the couple of times we did hit last phase, what we saw was this wave of corruption hitting us. Okay, and that wave of corruption gives us a stack or more if we goof it going into the last phase, which I guarantee you guys it's the difference between a 1, 2, 3% wipe and a kill, because that one extra stack is that extra bit of healing for such a long duration that's going to get us behind through attrition. Now, if you look at what Hig and Baby do, alright, so this is Hig and Baby there in group 1. This is to spawn the first beam, and again, the clock's against us, because we have a wave incoming in 15 seconds, and that ball has to go in before that wave, right? Exactly the same as other groups. If it doesn't, again, it's extra stacks going into the second half of phase 2, and that's just extra healing and extra attrition that's going to wear us down. Not to mention runners running with an extra stack or 2 of the debuff, and that makes it really hard. And for me, for example, I have to use a Hellstone while I'm up there, and there are better places for me to use a Hellstone later in the fight to keep myself alive. I'm going to look at this side by side. So if you just watch here, one's Baby, take that at exactly the same time. take note, the right-hand side has 2 gateways, right? That affects it, okay? So just consider that. One takes a couple of steps and stops right there to throw it, okay? Lamb catches it. In fact, no, he'd already thrown it. Anyway, and then he was running up to catch up and to help clear. Then Lamb takes it and he's there. Now, if you look at that, this compared to the other side, I watch Hig here. He runs, again, remember there's a pillar right here. You're running ahead to like kind of pre-clear, it looks like, here, and then running back around the pillar because there's no line of sight to catch it. So you end up having to catch it right next to the person, and now you're not in line of sight of where you want to go. So you got to kind of run for a few seconds really slow before you can use your fell rushes to get yourself there. Okay, if you compare the time difference, like 2 fell rushes, that's probably a very similar amount of time to taking a lock gateway. It's only fractionally quicker, but you compare the time difference between arriving and not arriving, 3 minutes 45 seconds, okay? And there, 3 minutes 49 seconds, it's 4 seconds. And you look at that, if he was there, if you say he was there 4 seconds earlier, this wave would not have gone off, okay? We would have gone into that beam on 0 stacks, an entire raid group on 0 stacks besides the couple of people up the top, all right? So that's why it's so important. Now, I'm going to show you how I think we can fix that, all right? It looks to me, and I run the left side, it seems to be a bit of a left side issue, and maybe it's just the layout, maybe it's the location of the orbs, okay, the little growth thingos that could cause that. So we get up, we grab our ball. Zep's already ahead pre-clearing, like everyone seems to do, but what you're going to note a little bit of, and this may not be the best example, but it works, is that if you look at the room right here, this pillar I think is causing people grief. Maybe a little bit of the rock, maybe a bit of these bushes on the side. They all clip loss and they're annoying as all hell. Look at all the possible paths that the roots could take. They can only move from cyst to cyst. If this goes from here, this little root, had it gone from here to here, we have this huge area in here that is completely safe. More specifically, this area right here, okay? If, and Zep doesn't in this situation because he's got time to kill before he dunks it anyway, trying to wait for that 1 minute 30 to pass. But if he were going to shadow step to the closest cyst and then run the last few steps, he could be standing right here. He could be doing his little knife throw stuff at each of these, applying a poison, making them shrink. So therefore, in the travel time of my button, he could be doing something, all right? Because I'm throwing in a location where he can see things. What it really feels like to me that some of the groups are doing, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the catches might be a bit further back, maybe, and the end result is that we're not in line of sight of things to do, because it seems to be that the people on the left, they're running ahead and clearing, running back to catch. Okay, and then kind of wasting time running forward again before doing things. Just say Hig, for example, like it looks to me like maybe you're running around this pillar before you do your dash, that kind of thing. If it were me and I wanted to catch it and then do it, I don't want to catch it here, so I could just blink, blink, dunk. All right, and that's exactly what I used to do on the other side when I first started doing it, and I was a thrower. All right, yeah. So guys, consider that. Catch it here. And Zep and I pretty much 100% of the time, well, I'm going to say 100% of the time, have the same location, unless I goof it. All right, so if you look at the catch point there, I sometimes get it a tiny bit further, it just sort of depends. But Zep knows and he adapts to it. But it's always in this little window right here. If you look at our second run, hopefully you'll see that it was the same again. Alright, so I'm next, I go up, I pick my ball up, again, Zep's already up ahead pre-clearing. Note, I'm on 2 stacks because of that extra wave that went out. Zep's on 2 stacks because of that extra wave that went out. One's on an extra stack, 3 stacks. I'm taking the portal, I'm blinking, got the same little location right there, and and Zep's in line of sight of things to do. He can still be clearing. He didn't have to run back towards me, and that results in a much quicker dunk. All right, which is obviously very helpful in the scheme of things. If we just consider how long that took, let's just see so we get an idea of a relatively quick run. So I picked it up at 4 minutes 58. Portal, blink, blink. Zep's caught it. Zep's there. Watching. So 4 minutes 58. 5 minutes and 19 seconds. All right, compare that to, say, a 24-second run. That 5 seconds, all right, is actually a big difference. All right, that 4 seconds is really imperative when it comes to trying to avoid that last wave of corruption that's going to basically screw the fight. So consider those things, consider your catch points. If you have questions about how, or you think, nah, Aaron, you're full of shit, that's a lie, that's not going to work, and you want to complain to me about why you can't cover it, come and talk to me and I will tell you how you can make it work, because I see no one in the raid that can't do it. I get that I have blink, but I don't get it done because I have blink. Everyone's got a tool. Most people have a tool that's similarly useful to them, all right? So come and talk to me about it if you're unsure. Let's get in there on Sunday and kill this bad boy. Yes, kill the slug.